good shot. Oh my!
You can celebrate Georgetown! The Georgetown Raiders are Buckland Cup champions!
The Trenton Golden Hawks, the R.W. Cup champions, are going to Coburn.
Back to Minerva. Shot scores! And the Coburn Cougars are the Royal Bank Cup champions!
Evans bumping, they score! Frank Poche, the game winner, and the Buckland Cup winner!
Well, don't look now, but Trenton may once again be the team to beat out east. Further evidence coming up in just a moment. This is the OJ Today. Welcome, everyone. I'm Alex Bastiavansky. Well, this week, Kevin Dean, one of the best announcers in all of junior hockey, is going to join me via Skype to discuss that very Eastern Division, which has been ridiculously strong all year. But first, game highlights. And, you know, one of the teams that struck fear into the heart of opponents in the OJHL over the past half-decade, really, has been the Trenton Golden Hawks. On the G-Hawks, built themselves a powerhouse team that ended up going to back-to-back RBC National Championship tournaments. Last year, though, was an odd off-season for the Hawks as they were rebuilding and they couldn't quite make it beyond the first round of the playoffs. This year, though, teams fear the G-Hawks once again as they'd climbed back into top spot out east and were looking to keep their hot play going in Stouffville. OJ Highlights now brought to you by Hilton Hotels. Hilton, the official hotel of the Ontario Junior Hockey League. 4 teams separated by just 3 points at the top of the East Division right now. So Trenton wanted to leave very little to chance in this game, and they did late in the first. Matt Nastasiak showing off the baseball skills, hand-eye coordination. Makes it 1-0 Hawks. Second frame, Spirit showing some fight. Anthony Osaris knocking home the second chance. All knotted up at 1 apiece. No stop in this one, though. Sweet passing by the Hawks. Tic-tac-toe. Tiger McDonald with the finish. 2-1 Trenton. 11 minutes later, Andy Baker quick to pull the trigger. Beats Damon Beaver. 3-1 Hawks after 40. Third period now. They would add some insurance. Hawks on the PP. McDonald to Stephen Elliott. And Trenton stay right up on top of the division. Currently tied with Coburg. They cruise to the 4-1 win. A team with some work to do if they want to climb out of the eastern basement. Lindsay taking on Newmarket. All Canes all the time in this one, though. Adam Trotman continuing his hot play. 1-0 Newmarket. Second period, Jalen Balboza looking like Rocky Balboa, heart of a lion. Defender draped all over him, powers through it. Shorthanded marker makes it 2-0 Hurricanes. 30 seconds later, Newmarket on the power play. Sheldon Nolan goes 5-hole on Dean Buckholes. Canes making it look easy, up 3-0. The Muskies do break the shutout, though. Harrison Sillen, weird angle there. Sneaks it past Christian Hufsky. Fish back to within 2, but then Balboza snaps home his second of the contest to make it 4-1 and restore the 3-goal cushion. Balboza was doing it all on this night. Sweet move. Pass to Graham McCrory for the finish. 3-point night for Jalen against the Muskies as the Hurricanes add one more in the third to make it a 6-1 blowout. Newmarket leading Markham by a single point for second in the North. The Royals making their first trip to Georgetown in franchise history, since moving back from Hamilton in 2015. Scoreless first. Markham gets it going in the second. Dylan Shriver putting it home, 1-0. Soon after, Royals on the power play. Pulling the original stop, Alessio Luciani cleans up the garbage. Royals with a 2-goal bulge. Back come the Raiders, though. Andrew Horsley to Spencer Hazel. His first OJHL goal. It's a biggie. Pulls G-Town back to within 1. Last minute of the period, Matt McJanet to Alex Tilley. Over the shoulder. All tied up after 40 minutes. Third frame, Luciani continues to shine. Sweet solo effort and the wraparound restores the Royals lead to 3-2. With it just 47 seconds left, though. Big Mac attack. Matt McJanet ties it up, sending it to overtime where you just got to see this save. Take it away, Alan Corkum.
Crocker to Tilly. He shoots. Oh, what a save by Andrew Albano. Oh, my heavens. He just robbed Alec Tilley. Put that on the OJ today, Alex. I would say that's the save of the year for sure.
Your wish is my command, Alan. Shortly after, though, the Raiders win it.
Hey, out with the ball, going to Justin Paul, wait, shoot, and he scores! Just in time, Justin Paul, game-winning goal for the Georgetown Raiders.
And a day where the Raiders trade away 3 top veteran players, that is a huge win. Okay, switching gears for a moment, the Aurora Tigers will be honoring 4 former Humboldt Broncos players on December 8th during their home game. The players actually arrived in Toronto on Wednesday the 5th. They'll attend a Leafs game, head to the Hockey Hall of Fame. We'll have a full recap story for you next week on the show. Here's Tigers owner Jim Thompson to tell us more.
So it started off, Alex, where my wife and I said, let's honor Humboldt, wear their jerseys on Saturday night against Newmarket, our rival, obviously down the road. And then a friend of mine sadly lost his son, Chris Joseph. Jackson Joseph sadly was killed on the bus. So I reached out to Chris and said, listen, is there a way that we could get you guys down here for this event and maybe take you to Niagara Falls and the Hall of Fame and a whole bunch of different things? So we've had an action-packed week. You know, it's been just great. Niagara Falls, the whole bit. So Saturday is sold out. Our first sellout since we've owned the team. Be standing room only. And, you know, it's we can't wait for that Saturday night. We've got lots of special guests. Obviously, our Humboldt boys are going to drop the puck. And it's just, you know, for my wife and I and all the hard work we put in Aurora, we're finally going to see the stands full, and it's a big night for us.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the OJ Today. You know, for a while there, it didn't look like anything was going to slow down the North York Rangers. A 13-game win streak that included a 14-period shutout run saw the Rangers jump all the way up into the top 5 of the national rankings, but then came the slide, a 4-game losing streak that they finally broke out of 2 weeks ago, and they were unbeaten in 3 when they faced off against North Division leading Aurora last Sunday. These two squads have combined for 217 goals this year, so yeah, a lot of firepower on the ice. But scoreless until the second, actually. 5:05 in, Joey Maziarz to Nick Lashuk. Sweet little dangle there, and it's 1-0 North York. 2 minutes later, scramble out front here. Graydon Gottschalk will bang home the rebound, and it's 2-0 for the blue, white, and red. Tigers get one back, though. Joe Mitzi. Gorgeous setup for Nolan Turry, and it's 2-1 at the break. Third period, all Rangers, though. Tigers scrambling in their own end a lot on this day. Ross Krieger makes them pay here. 3-1 for North York, and then it's a brand new acquisition, Jonathan Hampton, who came over from Georgetown on the weekend. No style points for this one as it goes in off his skate. He'll take it, though. His first as a Ranger. It's 4-1. Aurora trying to put something together. Moro Biasuto on the doorstep cuts the deficit to 4-2, but the Rangers shut the door. Ashton Stocky to Lashuk for his second of the contest as North York wins the Battle of Division Leaders, dropping the Tigers by a 5-2 count on Sunday. Okay, Pickering was hanging with the big boys on Friday, trying to take down the front-running Blades. We pick it up in the second. Oakville up 1-0. They make it 2 off the passing perfection. Tic-tac-toe. Harrison Israels with the finish. The Cats cut the deficit in half. Michael Cimini takes the return feed here. Hammers home the point shot. That's a bullet. And it works. 2-1 hockey game. 2 minutes later, though, Pickering can't clear the puck out front. Finally, Kyle Potts. He's so hot right now. 25 points in 19 games this year. Third period of play. Blades up 4-1 now. Pickering's Ben Sellers waltzes in. He makes it 4-2. But Thomas Maya will throw it the length of the ice for literally a last-second goal at 19:59 as Oakville continues to power along. 5-2 final. You know, it's just the state of the East Division right now that if you go cold, even in the slightest, you'll get left behind. Case in point, Cobourg was leading the East Division for much of the year, but then lost 4 of 6 and dropped 2 spots in the standings just like that. So 2 points against the Patriots on Monday were essential if they wanted to stay close to the top.
The Cougars could actually move back into a tie for first in the East with a win. A defensive contest this one was. Cougars break the ice in the second. Ryan Porter, watch him calling forward, saying me, 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 bam! Finally breaks the ice, and it's 1-0 for Coburg, and then it was up to Dershan Stewart to shut the door in the third, and that's exactly what he did. Knocks down the David Gucciardi point shot, and then he flashes the leather to deny Eric Russell. Nice save. So Coburg, they get the shutout and regain a share of first place in that super tough East Division. Okay, Bradford and Aurora. This one was a thriller. For a while, it looked like the 99ers were just going to run away with it. 3:34 in, scramble up front. Brian Zarowski makes it. 1-0 Brantford. All 99ers in the second frame. Cale McWilliams will make the initial stop. Max Rassico cleaning up the garbage, and it's 2-0 for Brantford. And McWilliams under fire all game long, really not getting much help from his defense. Eric DeDobler puts in the second effort. Keeper makes the first save, nobody clearing him out. Nothing he could do. 3-0 99ers, and they weren't done. McWilliams making the original stop again here, but Matt Giannini making it 4-0 Brantford. Aurora getting run out of its own barn. But cue the comeback in the third. First, Marcus Peterson deflects home the Joe Mitzi shot, and it's a 4-1 deficit now. And then watch Mitzi go to work.
That puck comes free center ice. Oh, there's Mizzy. Mizzy up the steal. Joe Mizzy on a breakaway. Score! Joe Mizzy. 4-2. Tigers are clawing their way back at it. Oh, you will pay it. You will pay big time. Giving the puck up to the leading goal scorer in the OJHL.
Yeah, Kevin Dean, wrong guy to give it up to. Then Mitzi again, setting up Peterson. 3 goals in 4 minutes. Tigers trailing now by a single tally, but Brantford woke up. Brian Zarowski gives them some much-needed breathing room as he gives them a 2-goal cushion again, and that would turn out to be huge, that extra goal. Peterson chopped down on the breakaway here, and that leads, of course, to the penalty shot called. No hat trick today for Marcus, though, as he's denied by Cam Grattan, but Brantford did need that extra goal, as mentioned. Mitzi, who else? Snapping it home to make it 5-4. That is as close as the Cats would get on this day, however. 5-4 final. News, big news. 8 OJ players make Team Canada East for the World Junior A Challenge. Spencer Kirsten, Dustin McFall, Jamie Engelbert, Riley McCooch, Jack Watson, Eric Ciccolini, Ty Glover, Trevor Ledun. The event, of course, starting in Bonnyville, Alberta next week. And Ciccolini, the good times continue to roll for him. The young superstar for the Junior Canadians signs with the Michigan Wolverines. That is a massive signing. He's been a star this year. Of course, he's on the NHL player watch list for the upcoming draft. Way to go, Eric. And the Blades are number 1. Yes, they are. They reached number 1 in the CJHL rankings released on December 3rd. Of course, that's not a surprise to anyone who watches them in the OJ. They've knocked off all the league's top teams this year and are currently running away with the West Division. Way to go, guys. And OJ trivia for this week. What city, I just mentioned it, is hosting the upcoming World Junior A Challenge? First correct answer to our Morocco at the OJHL.ca wins a prize pack.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the OJ Today. Joining me for the 3rd time this year, one of the busiest guys in the OJHL who does Aurora and Coburg play-by-play, Kevin Dean. Joining me once again. KD, welcome back to the show, buddy.
Hey, Alex. How's things going, buddy?
Awesome, man. We're talking about the East today because, I mean, it might be the toughest division once again in all of Canadian Junior A hockey, as we've been talking about all year. You're the man for Coburg. We'll get to them in a second, but you've seen all the teams top to bottom. Let's start with the Golden Hawks. For a while, Coburg and Whitby were kind of jockeying for top spot. They're still up there, but Trenton shot right up to the top. Talk about what you've seen from Trenton so far this year.
Well, you look at Thomas Millen, the head coach. He's been outstanding for the team, and he preaches defense. Defense wins championships. But right now, they're what? 16th in the league in scoring goals, but they're 4th in the league giving up goals, 2.35. And when Stephen Elliott and McDonald, key cogs in that team, get big crowds, they're moving up the ladder, and they've been playing some outstanding hockey, no doubt about it. And I look for them to keep moving up the ladder.
Yeah, absolutely. Whitby continuing to just power along. And, one thing that's amazed me all year, Luke Pearson, he's been a huge part of their success, rocking around, I think it's around 12-3-1 right now, his record, 1.85 goals against average, only a 2001 birth date as well. He's been incredible, hasn't he?
Oh, he's something, if there was an OJHL Hall of Fame, he'd probably be in it because he's got a save percent of 947.
Yeah.
Over like 500 shots this kid's taken. He's 6'3", great rebound control, squares up to the puck. If his dad, if this was his dad's brother, his dad, Rob would have made the National Hockey League because he would have been able to put a puck past this
Absolutely.
kid. He's unreal, and they're a legitimate team to win it all this year.
Great defense and a potent offense, too, which is obviously an amazing combination to have. Tough to beat in that case. Your Cougars, right there. Coburg is going to be one of the favorites for the Buckle and possibly beyond. And how good George Miranda leads the team in scoring. You just about lost your voice on that ridiculous goal he set up for Mac Lowry last week. I know you know the one I'm talking about. Take us through that one and the way the team's played.
Well, they were on the attack. They're flooding the zone, and Miranda wears 16, and Lowry wears 46, and I'm up there, and I'm half blind. And then when you hear you see the play, I'm going, I didn't even mention the kid's name, and he went through the defense and go, holy smoke, is this any good? Then he hits Lowry with the pass-bang one-timer, and everybody in the stands is just, they're not even cheering, they're in awe.
Yeah.
So, he's a hell of a hockey player, and he was at the showcase in Trenton, and he was lighting it up, and I was sitting there with a bunch of scouts, and they were mentioning his name. So, he's the real deal, and he's quite exciting. And I have to put Engelbert and McCutcheon, only 11 players in the OJHL invited to Team Canada East, and 2 of the Coburg players are there, so hopefully do all right. But no, the Cougars are playing well. JD's got them rolling, so I may be a little bit biased, but I think they're going to be on top of the list in the East, but it's going to be tough.
Any Jerome Dupont team, they're always going to be in the thick of the action, though, for top spot. Wellington, close behind those top 3. They played quite a few more games, though, than Whitby and Coburg. But the Dukes, last year's Buckland Cup champions, are they a legitimate contender for the Buckland once again, in your opinion?
Well, you just look again at the head coach. He went back-to-back national championship. John Druce, then Coburg, and then Chilliwack. And, you got Randy Ewens, his young lad just coming back, Zach, and old Don Cotton, my buddy. Those guys they're rink rats. They hit every arena around Ontario and Western Quebec. So they're picking up players all the time. And if they got cards in their back pocket like they did last year, watch out. They are going to be tough. And, they're going to be right there as well. You can flip a coin between the 4 teams right east.
Like I said before, it changes daily as to who's in first place. Yeah. Kingston continues to hover around that 500 mark. By no means a bad team, but as we know, mediocrity simply will not cut it in the cutthroat East Division. So do the Vs have the goods to up their game and go on a run down the stretch?
Well, you don't have to even worry about the East. They have the crossover, the new playoffs, so the teams in the South, they better have their hands full. Right now, they're tied with the Toronto Patriots for that 4th spot. And I guarantee you one thing, you hear from me, if they come in 5th, they're going to go to the South. They will knock off the North York Rangers, and then probably be Kingston playing. I don't know, whoever it's going to be in the East.
You're calling it. You think Kingston to knock off North York?
Peter Goulet's a friend of mine. Peter's a good guy. And Adam Kim and Syriup, they're great hockey players. Yep. And I'm telling you, the goaltender they got, I didn't write it down, Mansick or whatever. He played at Amherst last year, faced 60 shots. Yeah. It was unbelievable. He stood on his head, and if he gets his game going in the playoffs, watch out. Kingston will win the South Division, and they're in the East. How's that?
I know you wanted to leave some time for Lindsay. Unfortunately, in the basement, they get moved from the north to the east, where they're suffering a bit, but still some great wins, twice over Wellington, plus North leading division Aurora as well.
Well, you look at the Lindsay Muskies. They remind me of Aurora a few years ago. They only won a handful of games, but look what they did the following year. They went to the Northeast Conference Final. They got Brandon Leaking. He's a heck of a hockey player. They just had a sellout. They've had a kids' day. They had like 900 fans. They're turning it around. So watch out for them. They're on their way up. They're not the poor Lindsay anymore. And you know, I like their team. I like the what's going on. And you know, watch out for them. And they're not dead yet.
Nope.
They've got a good team.
Yeah, absolutely. We've a little bit of time left, Kevin. Give us about 35 seconds, 40 seconds quick. Aurora, huge thing with the Broncos coming this week and the weekend. We'll have a feature story on that about next week. But how great is this what Jimmy Thompson's doing with this Humboldt team?
Jimmy Thompson and Rita Tassoni are the best people in hockey. They truly are. They're bringing these kids in from Humboldt, taking them to a Leaf game. They're going to be dropping the puck. Hockey Hall of Fame, Niagara Falls, hometown hockey. I'm so proud to be part of an organization like Aurora. They run it top notch, and it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. Yeah. And you know, I think they're wearing like Humboldt jerseys.
I think they are too. We're going to have a full recap next week. They are expecting a sellout in Aurora. It's going to be fantastic. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us, my friend. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Hey, no problem. Take care, my friend.
All right, more Jake today coming up in just a moment. Hey everybody, welcome back to the OJ Today. Well, Saturday's tilt between Oakville and Whitby was a tantalizing matchup of division leaders. Well, Oakville is running away with the West, and Whitby's out east, where the leader seems to change on a daily basis, but they're right up near the top. So it was a huge game between two of the OJ's premier teams on Saturday night from 16 Mile Arena.
I had somebody recently ask me if I thought anyone could take down Oakville, and increasingly I'm thinking the answer is no. Midway through the first, Ryan Nicholson goes roof daddy. 1-0 for the Blades. 55 seconds later, Oliver Troop, original stop, but Holden Doggett right there to make it 2-0. Fury get one back. Ian McKinnon, right place at the right time. It's 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. Second frame, Blades with the man advantage. Nicholson, watch for the one-timer right here, and boom, beautiful. His second of the game makes it 3-1. Whitby refusing to die, though. McKinnon also nabs his second of the game with the sweet little wrister. Still close after 40 minutes of play, but Oakville kills any hope of a comeback in the third. Garrett Pike, the seeing eye point shot, finds its way home. 4-2 Blades. They got one more, and man, Oakville looks good. They take down a very strong Whitby team 5-2. I constantly feel like Mississauga deserves better than the results indicate. This is one of those games. Visiting the JRCs, Kyle Lewis getting hammered into the boards by Cameron Fulop, but the Chargers draw first blood. Nicholas Beaupre, right place at the right time again. 1-0 for Saga. Luca Durante, at the other end, he was having a big game for the visitors. He had to keep the minutes. Makes the nice stop there on Matthew Zebedee. And then multiple chances in this sequence on Luca, but he is equal to the task on all of them. And of course, Luca is the younger brother of Stefano Durante, who won an RBC Cup as a keeper with Coburg 2 years ago. Soon after, Brandon Yeaman's off to the races. One of the OJ's top scorers this year, makes it look easy. 17 goals in just 28 games for Yeamans so far. Canadians on the power play 4 minutes later. Stephen Calisti finds a seam right there, and he will dump it past Durante. They cut the deficit to a single goal. At the other end, huge save here by Matthew Mayhew. You will see that again in the plays of the week, I guarantee it. Second period, the JRCs even things up with the man advantage. Calisti's point shot goes off the post, off Durante, and in. Hey, you gotta be good to be lucky. All tied up at 2 apiece. Final frame, the JRCs complete the comeback. Tough luck for the Chargers as the puck deflects right to Eric Vitale. He puts it into the empty net. Game winner as the Canadians storm back from 2 goals down to take it. Okay, Georgetown looking for a measure of revenge against Brampton after losing to them back on November 18th. And they get off to a good start. Jake Payette is stopped. Bailey Malala there to put home the second chance. And it's 1-0 G-Town. With 21 seconds left in the period, though, Mason Saris, nice moves. And he gets it back and boom, ties it up at 1 apiece. after 20 minutes of play. Second stanza, Raiders jump back ahead. Malala with the itchy trigger finger, his second of the night, and it's at 2-1 for G-Town, and then it's Jordan Crocker making things happen here. Watch the moves. Nice little one, and then two coming up, and then finally it's going to be the big man, Jake Payette, putting it away. 3-1 Raiders after 40 minutes. Final frame now, they continue the onslaught. Dying seconds of a 5-on-3 advantage. Grant Spence, his first goal as a Georgetown Raider, makes it 4-1 for the home squad, and they add one more for good measure on the power play. The money man, Payette, his second of the night, seals the deal for the Raiders. The suddenly hot Georgetown Raiders, that is their third straight win, as they've now climbed out of last place in the West. Okay, the standings brought to you by Jostens, the official ring and awards apparel provider to the OJHL. Starting in the West, Oakville still a comfy lead over Buffalo, but as mentioned, Georgetown now in 5th place for the time being, as they've got a 2-point advantage on Bradford. In the North, Aurora, 13-point advantage over Newmarket, followed by Markham, the Panthers, and the Stouffville Spirit. In the South, North York, 11-point bulge over the Junior Canadians, followed by the Buzzers, the Patriots, and the Chargers. And out east, as mentioned, look at that, 4 teams within 3 points of one another. Kingston with 28 then, and Lindsay going to have to up its game if they hope to make the playoffs. The top 5 brought to you by Chaos Hats. Chaos, the official hat provider to the OJHL. Number 5, Joe Mitzi had a huge game in a losing cause for Aurora against Brantford. Rips the twine with the beautiful wrister. Number 4, check out the passing by Trenton here. Absolutely gorgeous. Tic-tac-toe. Tiger McDonald with the finish. Number 3, Justin Paul against Markham, going top shelf to win it in OT for Georgetown. Number 2, Matthew Mayhew of the Junior Canadians against Mississauga. 2 big saves right there, but we got to slow down the first one for you to really appreciate it. Watch as he just gets the toe out. Absolutely beautiful, but this is likely the save of the year so far. Back to Markham and Georgetown in overtime. Andrew Albano, are you kidding me? Fans of both teams were seriously on their feet in the stands for that one. Albano, a former Georgetown Raider, burns his old team, stretching for it. That is definitely our chaos play of the week.
And we're all out of time for this week, folks. But just remember, to keep up to date with the league, you can always head to ojhl.ca. And of course, all of your social media options right there for you to check out as well. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week.